Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So if you followed my previous episodes, I need to do a technical inspection tomorrow on this bike and it has problems starting. So it turns out after I removed and replaced the battery, it's not the battery, it's the starter. So we are gonna refit the starter today, and it's located just right here on the left side of the bike behind this cover here with the plug, with the battery plug. So let's do it. So if you are wondering about the symptoms, the bike is sometimes cranking, sometimes not, sometimes the time is going to 0. So the issue is that the magnets inside here are probably loose and are shorting out when you're starting the bike, and then it drains all of the power from a battery. And you can only push start the bike, but then it also gives you the ABS error. So let's try. Yeah, you see, this happens, it goes to 0. So sometimes it turns on, sometimes not. So it's really intermittent and it doesn't sound that good. So the starter doesn't sound good. And yeah, so let's refit it. So this is the new used starter that I got on Kleinanzeigen in Germany. It's Valeo D6RA55. There is also an updated version that is called D6RA75. But yeah, I have my technical inspection tomorrow and I needed to be quick, so I drove 2 hours to Germany and now back here. So I hope this works, and yeah, I need to fit it before the technical inspection because that's a big issue if the bike is not turning on. So let's fit this now into the bike. So you have usually a very easy access to the starter, but we are gonna need to remove the tank again because we want to detach the battery to be on the safe side. So we are going to detach the negative, the ground, and to detach the tank, actually it's a good thing that we already fitted the fuel line quick disconnects, which I explained in another video. So let's go. So let's remove the seats first. Pillion seat, and the driver's seat. So that's the first thing. So then let's remove the tank. So let's cover first, then you have the 6mm here and 13mm on the back side. So breather hoses, first the breather hoses, you can put them up like that. So actually when removing you will not need the 13mm. Just hold it by your hand. Just be careful that you don't lose it. So here's the bolt. Now let's detach the cable, the plug. So that's the plug. Now let's detach the both fuel disconnects. Just in case, I'll put some napkin here. So let's see if I need it. Put some light for you to see it. Number 1, there is just a sip of the fuel Now number 2. So also just a sip of the fuel. I think it's just the stuff that is inside the connector. So now we can pull off our tank. So this time it's a bit heavier than last time because I fueled up when I checked the bike, so it has now like 6 liters of fuel inside. So let's pull it off. Not too bad. This thing always falls off. It goes in here, so don't lose it. So let's disconnect the battery. I'll disconnect it here, and it's a 10mm nut. So pretty easy task. It was already a bit loosened, so don't wonder. So the negative terminal is off now, and I'm gonna put my glove on it just to be sure. So, just like that. So now it's safe to change the starter, and it cannot arc out because the circuit is not closed. So let's go. So let's remove the cover first, and I'm using the TX25x50. No idea what it is. It works something, but it's a small one. So actually the skid plate is a bit in place, so I need to wiggle it out a bit and disconnect the plug here. Yeah, disconnected. So that is actually the starter, and that's what is doing the problems. So you will need to remove 2 nuts here. One is here and one is underneath, and it's the LN6. So this one, HX6 or LN6, and yeah, you will need a longer one for the part underneath the starter. But let's first disconnect it. So you disconnect this thing here, just slides on this thing, and then you will need to disconnect this nut here. That's the power cable, I think. This is the reason why we disconnected the... Oh yeah, I broke it, but it's broken anyway. So it's the part that goes to the battery. So let's disconnect the battery connector, 13mm. So there is a washer and the nut. Let's put them aside. So that's the battery connection. So now as it's disconnected, we can fit a new one actually. There is some special thingy like this. So we'll need to refit it as well. So let's remove it. That one was easy. So let's see for the lower one. Where does it sit actually? Let's have a look. So you cannot really properly see it, but it sits behind there on the top. Just there. Hope you can see it. So this is how it looks like on the new starter. So this is the one that we just removed, and the other one is down here. So the whole starter sits like this. I can really only feel it, cannot really see it. Yeah, that's the trickiest part here, I think. Even longer one, but the wrench doesn't fit. There's always something, right? So tell me in the comments if you experience it the same way. So start with some small things, and then it ends up being some wiggly, fiddly things. So by the way, no oil leaks, nothing from our work from the last days, so that's a good message. I don't like it, so I will try with the wrench again.
Eight hours later.
So now finally can do it by hand. So the best thing is if you have this Allen that goes all the way here behind the starter. I think it's like 15 centimeters or something, so that would be the best, but I don't have the tools. This starter is sitting here bulletproof. Finally. Whew. Yeah, that's the bolt. Whew. So now you can wiggle the starter out. So here we go. Some cable behind it, be careful. Then I think this is the kickstand sensor. Be careful not to damage the cable. Someone has attached the cable with a zip tie to the starter. What the heck? Let's remove the zip tie. So why the heck is there a zip tie? Look, it goes all around here. I don't want to damage the cable, that's why I'll try to snap it off from this side. So, why is there a zip tie? like, what the heck? And I see there is some flicker in the video. That's because of the LED light. So the zip tie was attached to the cables that go down to the kickstand sensor. So why, I don't know. And again, you see all of this biodegradable yeah, stuff just turned to gunk. And yeah, the good thing is the cables are okay, so I will just put some gaffer tape on it. And yeah, that's how the engine is started. So the starter is turning this wheel. Yeah, and the funny thing is, the new one I got is actually the older version, the 55 version, and the one I removed is the 75 version. So this is apparently the upgraded one that never breaks, but yeah, it actually does. So some gaffer tape on the sensor cables. Because the shielding biodegraded. Well, let's fit the new starter. So let's try to do the upper one first, that we don't need to hold this whole assembly. So just, it's a bit loose. So let's try to do the lower one. So this lower bolt is where the whole pain is actually. No clue how to fit it. You need a longer tool for that. There is the bolt. See it? So I'll try to do it by hand now somehow. No idea. Now it's tight. Yeah, that was a bit easier than removing it. So let's fasten this one. So now let's connect the starter. Actually, the new one got also the bolts and nuts and everything, so I will use them. First, this thing here. Then the connection. And then the washer and the nut. And it's 13 millimeter. There's like a plastic thing underneath, so I just damaged it on my starter, so don't damage it. The power cable is tight, and then fit this lower thingy again. So that's all, I think. Now we can refit our housing. So connect the outlet first. Yep. So there are two knobs, left and right, or down and up, and you will need to fit them into the holes in the engine housing. is in and the upper one is in. So now we can fasten it. So that's how it's done. Need to tidy up as well a bit. So let's fit the tank, connect the battery and see if it works. So let's connect the battery again. It's the minus, so you always do minus, plus, plus, minus. Detach the minus, detach the plus, attach the plus, attach the minus. So we are gonna attach the minus again. So that's the ground. Now our beautiful USB-C charger, like this. So and now the washer and the nut. So this way. And it's a 10mm. The light is always going off here, but I'm doing the work here in the garage today because it's super hot outside. So, battery attached. Let's attach the tank. So as the last time, there are these two knobby things and we put the tank on top of them. And the best is if you put this rubber thingies on the tank first, then it's easier to fit. So let's do it. So the rubber thingies, 6 liters of fuel. And these rubber things, they slide right in if they're on the tank actually. So you see here. So and now the left side. So, tank is here, so let's attach this first. Just fit it by hand, because you need to move the tank around a bit. So like this. 13mm, the back side, the inner side, and HX6 or Allen 6 on the front side. Or Inbus 6. So that's it. Let's connect the breather hoses. Doesn't matter which way, they all go just down there. So the breather hoses, and let's connect fuel lines. So one fuel line. Second one. There was a bit of dripping again, but nothing serious. Now, moment of truth. Let's start the bike and see if we have the same problem again. it's turning, but the bike is not starting. Did I forget something? Of course I forgot something. I forgot to connect this one. Yeah, but we see now what happens if you don't connect it. So let's do it once again. So yeah guys, it was definitely the starter, not the battery. So that's how you do the starter change, and yeah, now just refitting the seats and we are done. I hope you liked it, and I hope I can pass the technical inspection tomorrow. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this series of the R1100GS refresh, and I hope to see you in more of my videos. I will be traveling by bike, and not with the bike, with my cat, without my cat. So more of the stuff and more of adventures to see on my channel, Uzico on YouTube. See you later, and hit the like button and subscribe button if you want to support me. Cheerio.